Hello and welcome to my crafting channel. I'm Alana from Upcycling NZ. I'm about to do a craft market, so I'm doing a book page banner for my marquee. It's going to display my handle at Upcycling NZ, so I've ripped out enough book pages to cover all of those letters. I'll also be showing you the setup of my stall, and I'll show you the banner in place once we get there. I'm cutting a straight edge on my little guillotine, but I noticed I had too many pages, so I had to reduce them down to about 5 or 6 pages at a time. I made some Christmas banners recently, but book pages are excellent for banners for all sorts of occasions, welcomes, birthdays, events that you're having, and it's a great activity for your kids to get involved with. So now I'm just folding each of those pages in half. I pick up old books all the time from the thrift stores, and I use them in crafting for all sorts of projects. Yeah, I've got them looking all uniform now. Next I'll take a few pages at a time, and I'm just using my little hole punch, and I'm punching a hole right in the centre of each of those folds. I'm just going to eyeball it, but you could use a measuring tape or mark them. This market I'm doing is big. It's been running for decades. It is crafts only. It's in the middle of summer, and it's on a main highway in the middle of a whole lot of tourist attractions, and it's a public holiday. So now I'm cutting angles at the bottom of my pages, and I'm using one of them as a template for the rest. I put a lot of research into this market before I signed up, and I wanted to do everything I could to make sure I had a successful event. I'm using a little bit of antiquing wax on a little sponge, and I'm going to age the edges of the pages. I'm playing some relaxing music in the background by my friend Conrad. It's called Manuia's Lullaby. I felt I needed to relax a bit because markets can be stressful. I'm using a chalk paint for my letters, and this colour is vintage green. I'll apply my paint with this sponge brush, and I'm just going to take a small amount of paint on the end of the brush, and I'll be dabbing it on a stencil. I'm keeping this really simple, and I'm just going to centre the letters and dab on the paint so that it's not 100% solid and keeps its aged look. I don't have an @ symbol on my stencil, so I'm going to do an A, and I'm going to use the curve of the letter C to create the curve I need around my symbol. It took a wee bit of fiddling, but I got it in the end. Once that was dry, all that was left to do was fold them in half again. Line up the hole, and I'll put a 3.5 metre piece of twine through it, and that's because my gazebo is 2.5 metres wide. This is how the book pages will hang, and I'll wind that up ready for market. Here's my vehicle set up all ready to go. There's a little visitor there under the car. Oh, there he is again. He's a little native New Zealand weka, often mistaken as a Kiwi by tourists. Well, he's off, so let's go off to market. The very first thing that I learned is that you actually have to unload everything onto your little space and move your vehicle straight away. And because of that, putting up the gazebo was quite difficult around everything else, and setting up tables, I ended up moving stuff around and around in my little space. That's one thing I can definitely improve on in the future. The smart thing I did was to pre-price everything before I set up. I'm filming from the back here, and you can see that I've put some chicken wire up, and that's holding the paintings up. That was a good idea. And the only other big mistake I made was I forgot one of my tables, which I left in my caravan. So there's my banner. It looked great and it wasn't too windy. So some really positive things came out of this market. I sold some stuff. There was a bit of everything. It gave me an indication of what sells and what doesn't. I met a lovely lady called Sue, and she purchased some of my stuff to see if she can market that to some of her clientele. So I did her a good deal, and hopefully we'll stay in touch in the future. If she's able to sell that on, that could be a great contact for me to move some of my stuff in the future. People really seem to appreciate the sustainability message I had around my upcycling. I popped a card in with everything I sold today and explained that people could watch their item being made on YouTube. A lot of people photographed items, so I gave them a card too. The conversations that were had at the market were really good. They helped to solidify my name in the area that I come from. I did a free giveaway on some advice from a marketing expert. So if people subscribe to my channel, they got a free piece of jewellery. That worked really well and brought a lot of people into the stall. The cards were a great success, and it was my daughter's idea to put a QR code on the back of them. The shabby chic stuff was really popular. The guys really liked the antique saws. I sold quite a lot of trays, dishes and plant holders, all upcycled. I didn't sell any paintings at this market, so I'm thinking that's a different kind of market where those might sell better. And I was quite surprised that I didn't sell as many of the smaller ticket items as I thought I would. By far the biggest sellers were outdoor garden ornaments. Thanks so much for joining me for my market experience. It's a nice short and sweet video this week, and I've loved having you here with me. I'm just going to get back to some really important work. Nah, just kidding.